Hello everybody, Black Sentinel here, playing some more Danganronpa. We last left off gathering all of our evidence for this trial of not just Taka, but Hifumi's murder. So, I'm here, right at the front gate of the trial room. Let's see how this goes. I know my last episode of the trial ran pretty long. Either this'll, depending on how long this trial is, it may do the same thing, do one big mega episode, or it'll have the potential of being a split episode. You guys will see. But for now, let's actually just hop right in and see what the hell we've got to deal with. Everyone had heard Monokuma's proclamation and they were gathered by the red door. And as soon as we were all there,
Monokuma appears!
hello. He's multiplied.
Wrong!
Nope, not multiplication. It just looks that way because of an illusion. I'm moving so fast it looks like I've multiplied. Can you guys tell which one of us is the real Monokuma? Can we just get on the elevator already?
Boy!
You're not playing along.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you. Okay, fine.
Hey!
Then if everyone's here and ready to go, please board the pain train or elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Okay then, shall we?
Please!
Hold on. I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck?
You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, hero. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I told you already, I didn't do it for serious. That reminds me, did you ever find the other costume or the note? Well, no, but how unfortunate. Then it would seem we have our culprit.
Hey,
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
She's right. Let's get down there first. Then the story can really begin. Yeah, good idea. That's right. I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Hifumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive, and for the two that lost their lives. The one who killed Hifumi and Taka, the one who killed two of our friends. The killer is someone right here. Alright, let's get in the elevator. Took one last deep breath and exhaled slowly. I almost said exalted. Exhaled slowly. I began to walk toward the elevator. Once everyone was aboard, the doors closed on their own, and the steel box began to move. The clunking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There was no going back. Until we settled this, we couldn't go anywhere. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator doors slid open, opening up onto a cruel fate. When I see all of you gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
just the worst.
Only because of you. Why? Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other?
What?
What? Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break. I'd never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate. A deadly flash trial. Yeah, sure, I'll save. Save here. Okay. Truth bullets. I want to see what we got. We got Monokuma File 3 that talks about the blunt force trauma to both Hifumi and Taka. The blue tarp that was underneath Taka, that probably helped the killer or killers move. Well, killer, it wouldn't help anyone to be an accomplice. But the blue tarp that moved Taka's body, the dolly that also helped move Taka's body from the equipment room. Fumi's glasses were dirty but now clean. Spotless hammer. Yeah, there was one hammer that was clean among the rest. Repository door can only be locked from the inside. Equipment room bloodstain. That was the dolly. The tracks the dolly left behind. Glasses cleaning cloth. That was where we found Hifumi in the first place. No. That was Hifumi's in the nurse's office when we had him there. And I think it was used to clean his glasses when they were... He cleaned his glasses when they were covered in blood. Because he wasn't dead at that point, I don't think. I think it was Taka's body that was confirmed dead. And that's why we heard the thing go off. Celeste's account of... What was it? Celeste, AoE left the nurse's office. Oh, yeah. When Celeste and AoE were in the restroom. Which was stupid. Bad timing. Yasuhiro's message. Yeah, because he had such neat handwriting. Robo Justice blueprints with not that good a handwriting. That's what we found in Hero's room. Robo Justice costume, which could not bend down at the waist and had a latch on the back, so you can't like single-handedly get out. You need an assistant. Yasuhiro's account. Him about the previous night and how he got a note. Yeah. Broken wristwatch from Taka. That was marked at 6 a.m. Taka's scrap of paper. Yeah, he had a scrap of paper, which actually leads into the note Hifumi had, because it's the same jagged edge. And it's a different note. It's similar, but not the same exact one that Hiro recited. It leads to a different room at a different time, because Heroes said at the rec room at 1 a.m. and this one said equipment room at 6 a.m. And then everyone had their own handbooks. So for now, we don't believe that the handbooks had anything to do with anything, right? As of the moment, there could be something that happens during the trial. Extraordinary focus. It's the only new one I have. Yeah. Because that's Sayaka, that was Kyoko, and this one's AoE. No, that one was Leon. That's Leon. And that one was AoE. Okay, let's go ahead and get this started. Thank goodness I can take a break.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial.
Talking.
So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I know who did it, not the wire or anything.
Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
But I know who it was.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprint for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
Too clean cut, though.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know.
Is Hiro really the killer, before anything else, we have to make that clear. Yeah, I know who it is. I'm almost positive. Not the whole story of how or why, but I do know it too. Yasuhira's message.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second.
I think I need to take someone's. I mean, looking at the blueprints, that handwriting is awful messy. If I remember right, Hiro's handwriting is.
Everything we found in your room.
Yeah.
The blueprints, the suit parts.
Yeah, the blueprints. If that's what we're trying to prove, we get with Yasuhira's message.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Yeah.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
I'm glad you can admit that.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
No, not at all.
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
Oh, he's participating.
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
Probably not.
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course, he passes it off to me.
So, who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
The suspicious individual in question, the one that must have been in the suit. The Illuminati, Hina. Not Hina. The Illuminati? No.
I got it!
It was Hiro.
Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Unless someone had the same kind of dimensions.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
Being a suspect doesn't mean...
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Okay.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
Well, you
All
guys...
things have a proper order.
He's gonna have
So
to
what is it? What needs to be clarified?
boss y'all around.
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
Yeah.
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items.
Yeah.
Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Yeah, because he had the things that were used to move Taka's body. They must have been. Yeah, he has to boss them around because guess what? They're not sitting there. I mean, they're sitting there only trying to blame him, and they're not looking at anything else. They have to. The dollars.
I got it!
Still one more thing. Yeah, it's also the tarp.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
The attitude.
So, let's see if I can explain.
Oh, I thought I got wrong for a
Taka's
minute.
body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room.
She's very talkative.
Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Wow, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean, but maybe I can change her mind. She's very talkative this case. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. A new element has been added to the bullet time battles. Oh my goodness, man. Every single one has had something new. Let's talk about reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just locking on and pressing the left mouse button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements no matter how locked you are, However, you can reload by pressing the tab key. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the tab key in time with the tempo marker. Oh god. Basically, just remember that the tab key now has all functions along with the right mouse button and left mouse buttons. You will automatically reload at the start of fever time and your ammo will not decrease. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay. So, here we go.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool.
I accidentally activated it one time.
Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic.
As long as she doesn't speed up,
Lies will get you nowhere.
I can get this.
I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
I don't know what she was about to say, but I don't care. Thank goodness I'm good at
If
keeping
you're
my own
asking
tempo.
for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it.
Yep.
There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Geez, does Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
Then do it.
If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately
Yes,
obvious.
because you can't bend down and grab the dolly if you were in the suit. But look at how the body was moved. It'll be clear. Yeah. Cool. What does he mean by that? So what's my bullet evidence? I'll know Robo Justice caused it. Okay.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Yeah.
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yes, using the dolly.
The culprit wrapped the body in the tarp,
Yep.
then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle,
Oh, they're
all
still
you
going.
have to do is bend over.
But you can't. There we go.
No, that's wrong!
I almost screwed myself up. I'm glad I missed both those shots.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low.
But
If you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing
That's
the
exactly
dolly
what's
with
in
your
my
feet?
When you can't
Push it
even
with your
see
feet.
your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
True. And it's time
It'd be
matter.
totally impossible! Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Can't do it because there was the latch on the back that you would need a second person to do. There's absolutely no chance of causing them taking off the move body because once it's on, you can't take it off. You can't take it off by yourself.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember,
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make this stupid friggin' thing. There's a clasp on the back that keeps you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo-Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
Yeah.
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that?
Could have been fake.
Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice. That's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
She's really
Yeah.
pushing it.
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Yep.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
Yeah.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office,
What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
and then...
Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into two groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the third floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time. Because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for two missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
It was a very
Rather than a
accurate scene.
single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. Make your argument, Monokuma file number 3. Okay.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of
I didn't mean
Justice
to
Hammer
click that.
4.
My finger
See?
switched.
So it's obvious Taka came after.
Justice Hammers were numbered, but are they really used in that order? Yeah, that doesn't mean they were used in that order.
Regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Come on, Miko, don't tell me like that. Makes me think something weird is going on. I need to think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction in there somewhere. I forget how...
Regarding Taka's death...
I forget how to do the thing. Weak spot. Firing truth bullets. Loading truth bullets. Truth bullet flashback. Okay. Hold down the left mouse button. Okay.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Let me skip all this. Really can.
So,
I still have the bullet.
Or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
True. I didn't really
If
think
anything,
of that.
that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order,
It's a clever ruse.
but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. Well, given that Hifumi didn't die until we were there's something that relates to what time he must have died. Oh, shoot. Hangman's Gambit. Wristwatch. It's the wristwatch. W, please. W, thank you. What? Because that's the letter I want. There we go. Nope, not that one. I don't know why I looked at it and thought it was an H. Come on. Wristwatch.
Now I
Took
understand.
a second. Figure out what that word was.
I've got it. Taka's wristwatch.
Yep.
See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
It was still working. Hey, you. How long were you going to keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
Yeah.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size.
Yeah. That's
That
clever.
way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because
True.
when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That's true.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder.
But not
But
Hifumi's.
all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
But we're still looking at it like two
That's
separate murders.
With him, at least, we're all safe.
Huh? What was that? No, they're showing this scene again. Came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. And this is bad. Come on, we have to go back. I don't know why they show
When we
that.
heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body. totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Bro.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Yeah, true.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body.
Definitely true. I don't think Hifumi was dead at that moment.
Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles.
Exactly. We need to just look at what we've got.
So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how.
There we go.
In particular,
Smart
I think
girl.
we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
Yeah.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing.
But remember, he wasn't dead until
And
you guys were
according
there.
to what Celeste said,
He could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. He's a big guy, too. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time. It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Not possible.
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Unless you were
Wow.
walking.
What if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Aha. Wait.
The dead body moved on its own?
Yeah.
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is... we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
Yeah.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
Yep.
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Fumi was still alive. Is it really possible? Yes. Because remember, he spoke up his dying message to everyone. Broken wristwatch.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the
I think-
nurse's office,
I think it's gonna make me scan again.
there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible.
I think I needed to scan that.
Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
No, I didn't get to scan it. Okay. I'm sure the body discovery announcement was made only one. Oh.
Are you
frick. Can I? There's no way to. I'm trying to pull up the transcription, but
There's
I
a
guess
chance he was actually still alive.
No. It is in Hifumi was
Let
dead,
me
and
just
you know
skip
that
through this.
shortly you heard the body of Hifumi's dead body. And that is why the
Are we real? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
yeah.
Are you
Someone
saying
else
that when we
discovered.
first...
There's a chance he was actually still...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that shortly you heard the body discovery. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, Celeste is really talking this time
Was the
around.
body
I don't like
discovery
it.
announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we made a mistake in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
True.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man.
Yeah, it
We're
really
asking
did.
if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty. Huh? He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Later on?
Well, I didn't
Exactly.
forget. It didn't click.
We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Second body discovery announcement. First time it played was when we found each body in their office in the equipment room. And then it was after he said his final words. When both bodies were rediscovered, Toko was found unconscious, just after Ifumi came back to life. Are you really sure about that? I think hard to try to remember. Now that you mention it.
Shoot!
What? Myself in front of everyone. First time I played, second time was when both bodies were rediscovered.
I got it!
Okay.
We heard it a second time in the
I
repository.
thought it was after
when we
the thing. I guess I
rediscovered the
screwed
2
it up.
bodies.
I guess I forgot when exactly it happened. Ding dong, ding dong. Yeah. Body has been discovered. For a certain amount of time, which may use it however you like, the class trial will begin.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Yeah, true.
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
In which case, he
And
passed
that's
away with
just
his
part
last
of it.
words.
There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
Wow, thanks. So helpful. I love
That
that
is the worst
spoke
logic
up.
I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
What about the glasses? that he
Okay
cleaned
then,
off?
let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Finding hairs. Hifumi's glasses. There we go. That's what I want to see.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
Yeah.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved,
Don't say they were the same. 'Cause I will
other
prove
than
you
the
wrong.
change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Liar.
No,
Liar.
wrong.
Get her, Makoto.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That
which I
fact
need to clean
alone
mine.
proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless.
Nope.
And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
Yep. You're gonna make me select it, aren't you? Yep. I was waiting for it. Black clean cloth.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear.
Yep.
This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt
fact that you remember the
anyone
name.
but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
Me.
I wouldn't be
Oh.
caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
And it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see.
Yep.
Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet.
Yep.
And with
Yep.
that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
But then-
Absolutely.
If he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
No, it was real blood.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains
There you
packs
go.
of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
Hey, I said that. Come on.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
You say that as he's standing right
And if
next to you.
Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained.
Or at least the sign is with his face.
It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Want to move Taka's corpse? was Hifumi then.
I got it!
Because he would have had to lock
If
me
it
on the
only had
inside.
been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who'd just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
Yeah, I'm guessing it has to do with the laptop.
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Oh, you mean the letter. I'm waiting for you to say something about the laptop. That's the only reason he would have killed. The note.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his...
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Yes, his pants.
Oh, Sakura,
Okay,
don't say
well,
that.
forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go.
Nah, it's not the same one, though.
Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants.
I got it!
Kind of made that answer obvious.
That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right?
Oh, you're gonna ask about the scrap.
So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy! Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Inside Jack is really scary, but still, I can't let her get to me. Yeah, it's a scrap piece of paper. Got clean cloth, and glasses, broken wristwatch. I don't think any of those are gonna mean anything. I
Huffy
think
had
that's
the
a
note,
scam.
right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Ah, broken wristwatch. The note said 6 a.m. What happened at 6 a.m.? Yeah.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
I'm a
But
skip.
remember, what time did it say? 6 a.m. The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Gotcha.
No, it's wrong.
Boy. Shut her down.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
Man, I have a lot dead
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
He must have been taking it.
Pants, no less!
He took it
Most
from him.
likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
I had the scrap that was still in his hand. Yeah, let's go to here.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is...
They're taking Kyoko's credit, by the way.
I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from its death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Oh, no,
Sorry,
he did.
No.
No, he did.
When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
We played them
He was
both for
killed
fools.
in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body.
The
In
less
other
someone
words,
found
during
it.
that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Do it.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all.
Okay.
But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
Nope, I found a spotless hammer.
But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either.
Am I the only one that
The
saw the hammer?
Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then...
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
Come on, let me point out the hammer. The weapon that was actually used to kill Ifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth. Yeah, spotless hammer. Give me the evidence. Come on, give me the evidence. Spotless hammer. Cool.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Nope.
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Nope. Dang it. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I want to stab you. You're seriously adorable with serious face, Mom.
Shoot!
Anything about one more time. There must be a contradiction in there somewhere. Okay,
What was
let me
used
zoom
to
through
was
this.
it just maybe Justice?
Well, there's one. How was the culprit?
All the
How
way
did
back
nobody...
where it was.
Sounds like a Justice Hammer. Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info.
Oh my god.
Well, one thing
I wonder if
seems
that's a real
pretty clear.
website.
The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
I wasn't too far off.
The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely
Not
different.
completely different, just different.
But seriously? A different weapon?
Yeah.
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris.
Yup. Except
But
one.
for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off.
Yeah.
I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones.
Yep.
I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
I mean, it looks like there's some missing. I would say they used them.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that was the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but spotless hammer. Do I need to
Based
steal?
on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
You really say there's no chance two people work together on this?
Based on the rules that have been laid out for even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried out the
I think I
assuming
know.
the rule holds true.
I gotta zoom all the way to the end.
In this case,
Absorb
however,
this.
there were two murders.
Okay, skip. And now go to the
Based
impossible.
on the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried, assuming the rule holds true.
Not possible.
No,
Those two different murders.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Yep.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
Yeah.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They
Yeah.
made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents.
Yep.
And
That's
it
what I
only
was talking
looked
about earlier.
like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look.
Yeah.
A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
Yep.
That's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning. Which is why she said to not look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing. Although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unreal how good she is at this. Yeah, true.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now!
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debate up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Yeah. Select someone.
Here's my answer.
I've had her pinned from the start.
It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Yep.
Is that so?
Yep.
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What was it only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Catching the suspicious individual. Yeah, only those two had it. Screaming, paper hidden.
A gun! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it?
Yup.
The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Yep.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long
looks
after
stunned
that,
over there in the
do you
corner.
remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen.
Yup.
Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
Yup.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. Yeah, she tagged us
Once
the entire
she'd done
time.
her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Yep. Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Yep. Then why don't we split into two groups? Yeah, she had us tagged the entire time. I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. I haven't trusted her from the start very well. Then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on.
Don't go back to it.
That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we are on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
Yeah, true. They were not
I just
that far
realized
to do that.
another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. And not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
All?
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
Yep.
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
And what was that?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys did.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Yeah.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room.
Oh, you're right.
Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto.
Yeah, that's right.
Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're
I
talking
forgot
about.
you did say that.
Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. But what is he alluding to? This is probably another flashback. Monokuma file number 3. Yeah, it probably is.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Oh, I need to use his thing. Hey, I'm sorry, Byakuya. Hang
All
on.
I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die, just like those guys. And that is all I said.
And that's all it
Oh,
takes
oh,
to
oh,
finish
shit.
this. What was so strange
I need
about
this,
Celeste's
not that.
comment?
There we go. Bop-a-dee-bop-dee-bop-dee-bop.
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight
Not
of us.
that
They must
one,
be.
not that
we are
one,
all
not
going
that
to. We are
one.
going to die, just.
Those guys.
No, it's wrong.
Because you wouldn't have known that, but we had 2 people in it.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died.
Yeah.
When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? how did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have
shoot.
such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took?
You could have faked it. You could have had...
How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
We don't see him dragging him away. It's not a video.
It has to be some kind of setup, right?
Yeah.
So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so
They
quickly
used you.
forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
Exactly.
What could you possibly mean by that?
She's really trying. She thinks
Surely there are
she's
other
getting away with it.
explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? Yes. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possible reason Hifumi is dragging the suspect away, Hifumi and the suspect had been drinking, Hifumi and the suspect are dancing.
I got it!
Yeah, Hifumi would have had to drag the
It's
suspect.
not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around.
Yeah.
And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Yeah. Almost had it too.
Such a thing is utterly impossible.
Sure.
Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Listening can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. She can't though, but is that really possible? No. It's about to do another stupid bullet thing. Robo Justice costume, Robo Justice blueprints.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous.
Okay.
As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright.
No, he's
If
not.
the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Oh,
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
it's the costume. Yeah, because, it couldn't bend at the waist, so
Dress me
it
up in
could
that-
stand
then
up
you just draped me across
without
Hifumi and you
any
tried to
other
make me look
problem.
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, if the person inside the suit, there's no way they could stand up straight.
Lies.
No,
Slander.
it's wrong.
Gotcha, Celeste. Quit trying. Just quit. We got you. You're dragging
No.
this on.
Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Yep. Couldn't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
You can see it on her face. It's not okay.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? Celeste? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Yeah. Hey, Fumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's right. I remember their name. Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Right! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually Taro!
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more
true.
complicated.
Shut your mouth.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Said people's last names, I believe. I think he said people's last names.
That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more
Yeah.
than once, for example. So if
Can't remember if
Hifumi
he did that for
mean to
everyone,
say
though.
Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
You're stammering.
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Yeah.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
Hey, there you go.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Oh, this is where...
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Everyone has their e-handbooks. That's right. Celeste still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. Yeah, come on, e-handbooks. Let me choose not extra. It's gonna give me that as the truthful, isn't it? Yep, e-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name. Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you?
It's Ludenbach.
My name is...
Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
Not angry.
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
Hey, give me your
No,
e-handbook.
that's wrong.
Let me see it. You gotta have it on you. Let me see it.
That's it. The handbook.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right?
Ding, ding, ding.
Monokuma told us all about it before.
Oh, this was ages ago. This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't you lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Yeah. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that. Cool.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Says
Fine
the
then.
gambler.
Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes.
Yay, now I have to do the
And that'll
summary
bring
thing.
everything to an end.
Don't make me do the bullet tempo nonsense. Closing arguments. Yeah. Okay, so we had Hifumi talking to the culprit. Oh lord, there's so much evidence. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I do not know what that's supposed to be or referring to. There's some things in here that shouldn't even be in here. Okay. Okay, at 1 o'clock, he came in there. He's in there. They stuff him in the suit. They get a picture. And now it's about 6 o'clock. Right? Yeah, 6 o'clock. He comes in there, bashes his head in. Uses number 4. I guess that one. And then this is here. He takes a picture. Shows the picture. Ifumi's dazed. With number 3. Number 3, right? Or was it 2? I think it was 2. Oh, the nurse's office. I don't remember all of them being together. So we were going into the library. He was there. Hammer number 2. Took him to the nurse's office. He sprayed blood everywhere. Hammer number 3. And then he did all this and wrapped up the body. And then swung him in.
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
At 1 o'clock.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning.
Drugged him.
That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him,
stuffed him in a suit. And they caught
they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him.
But that wasn't
while the
true.
killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room.
Yep.
And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder.
Yep.
The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room.
Yep.
The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes.
Yep.
So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect.
Yep.
The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story.
Uh-oh, did I put the
With
wrong
these 2
hammer?
incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds. That the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But
Okay, I didn't.
while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered.
Yep.
He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi.
Yep.
He left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room.
Wrapped them up, wheeled them out, put them in the repository.
He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Celeste. Way to be dramatic about it.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Oh, don't be sorry. She knows what she did. We got her.
Lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
And so that's it. How could I do? Hey, I got an A in all of them. Hell yeah. I'll take it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I got 101 medals. Ooh.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
The beginning of the end.
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
We all know. Guilty! Ding, 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 ding! All those medals I earned. 101. It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. Yeah, we're getting these spot on, thankfully. The blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was... Celestia Ludenberg. Or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Took a gamble. You knew it. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So he really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to him to agree. To get him to agree.
So then...
Then did you use, you know... I knew you figured it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice,
Indeed.
I use her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it's the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean... Yep, there's a laptop. Is she talking about alter ego?
Say what?
What? What are you talking about? You don't get to
Just
know.
a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop, as usual. How sad.
In other words,
Then you're the one who stole it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you. Alone. It was about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What?
What?
are you
It was
okay with
Taka.
this?
He stole it. What?
So
I have
then,
proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him. But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You're correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
What?
as for me,
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh,
He did?
as for me,
Came to my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me,
what?
and he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice. Yeah, so she did lie. That's a crime. An absolute crime. I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him.
most unfortunate.
Wait, please. If you go now, you will be playing right into his hands. Huh?
Actually,
Taka is planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean... Taka is going to try to kill you.
indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. That bastard.
This is unforgivable.
Bastard.
Honestly,
Can we allow him continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not. How could I? She
I swear,
I have to save
I
her.
will save her!
actually,
Then, would you like to join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. Huh? I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And from there. And with that, it was complete. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Yeah. Ifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Ifumi's creation? Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah. There's a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. He went all out. I had no idea he'd make something like that. But it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. Just flat out. You're dumb. That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Oh man, life must have been tough on your parents though. Oh my god. Jeez. I feel like I could cry. Oh, Celeste's not leaving without a fight. But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him live?
Are you okay with
That's
this?
simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded, he was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Hifumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. And that, at that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. True. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
So in the end,
So, you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself. Jeez.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
don't be mean.
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder
No,
about
he
that.
derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. Yeah, I didn't think it was for the money. But that's not all there is to it. Yeah. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
But
But all along, you've been saying how we have to accept living here. That doesn't mean
little
anything.
bitch.
Obviously, that was a lie. Yeah, moron.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here. I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why? Huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. What was this dream of yours?
isn't it
To
wonderful?
live in a European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers slash bodyguards. I wanted a reverse harem. Got it. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life, there was my only dream. No, bollocks. Living the rest of my life, there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. Yeah. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be
fortunately
done.
my dream has been scattered to the wind. Jeez. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I? great if I
Just
could
the
breathe.
worst.
Speak. You said you sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
do you
That's all there
understand?
is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? She doesn't care, she knows she's lost. My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. That's why you're not scared?
Yes,
That's
indeed.
right. I don't fear death. Tell me however you like. So is it finally time? But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then
Isn't it
I
wonderful?
think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette. Okay.
Hey,
You just get executed again. Phyllis smiled then. And when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings. That statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills!
You all done?
Chills! Kills!
Okay, let's get rolling. The Blackened disturbed the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Game over. Celeste has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. Oh, Lord. So how did she go? Burned at the stake? I mean, okay. The burning of the Versailles Witch? Versailles Witch? No, I pronounced that. Feel bad if I do pronounce it wrong. So, whoops. Better to burn alive. Well then. Doesn't that just suck? Oh, it's going all the way up. What in the world? Oh. Oh, okay. They could have just left it at she burned alive, not drive a truck straight into her face. But alright. Jeez. Alrighty. Well, that's actually gonna be all. Jeez. Yeah, we found Celeste is the guilty party. I actually knew all along. because she just seemed very talkative. She was given too many suspicious, attributes that I was noticing. Um, just nothing seemed to be clicking for her. And then when I found out that she's the one who found the bodies, I was like, oh, there's no way. And then it said the door locks on the inside. I was like, yeah, there's no way. Like, it doesn't make sense why two people end up dead. One of them I know moved herself because there's no other reason to clean the glasses. None of it made sense. And then when they said Celeste found the bodies, I was like, oh, okay, I know where this is going. So I knew at that point, and then slowly as the trial went over, I kind of figured it out how it happened. Not so much, I didn't really care for the why. It made sense why she didn't want to be there, and it was very obvious she didn't want to be there. She kind of wanted the money to some extent. I even said from the get go, she's probably the only guilty party I can see wanting that motive. So, oh well. But yeah, that's another school life. That's another student gone out of this school life that we're dealing with. We are now down to officially 7 students from the 15 we had to start with. Okay. Man, that sucks. We're almost to a third. We're a little over a third of the amount of students we began with. That's ridiculous. But we'll see what the school life has for us next time. I don't remember there being a 4th floor, but there probably is. If we get another floor unlocked, and things probably will be going downhill from here. And hopefully the laptop that we got back, because I'm guessing that room key is where the laptop is. So hopefully we can. It's assuming that's a room key. It might actually be like a locker or something. So we'll see. But hopefully things start wrapping up here in a good way. I don't want a bad way, but at this point, I mean, escape seems inevitable unless the laptop pulls something up, which we might see in the next episode. Who knows? But for now, that's going to be all. If you haven't already, like I say, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as the bell icon. It does you a favor so you can get notified whenever my uploads come up. Just saying, it does you a favor. But for now, that's going to be all. And I will see you all in the next video. Like Sentinel, logging out.